Hey folks, it's the big new Bruce Lee here, and let's be honest, the economy can be a fickle beast. One minute it's roaring like a lion, the next it's quiet as a church mouse. In today's video, we're going to talk about how to prepare for an economic crisis. Whether you're worried about a recession or just want to be ready for unexpected financial challenges, these tips will help you stay on solid ground. We're going to walk through some practical steps you can take to protect yourself and your family when times get tough. We're talking about building a financial fortress, the kind that can withstand any storm. So, grab a pen and paper and let's get started. First things first, let's talk about your emergency fund. This is your financial safety net, your shock absorber for life's unexpected bumps in the road. Now, some folks might tell you to have 3 months of living expenses saved up, some might say 6, but let me tell you, in a real economic crisis, you're going to want more than that. Think of it like this. If you lose your job, you don't want to be scrounging for pennies while you're trying to find a new one. You need to be able to keep a roof over your head, food on the table, and the lights on. That's why I recommend having at least 8 to 12 months of living expenses saved up in a separate, easily accessible account. Now, I know what you're thinking, Zbigniew, that sounds like a lot of money. And you're right, it is. But here's the thing, you don't have to build it overnight. Start small. Look for areas where you can cut back on your spending, even if it's just $10 or $20 a week. You'd be surprised how much those small amounts add up over time. Another way to build your emergency fund is to sell some stuff you don't need anymore. We all have clutter around the house. Have a garage sale, list it online, whatever it takes. Remember, every little bit helps. Once you've got some money saved up, don't just let it sit there in a regular checking account. You want that money to grow, even if it's just a little bit. Look for a high-yield savings account. These accounts offer a slightly higher interest rate than traditional savings accounts, which means your money will grow a little faster. And here's a little trick. Automate your savings. Set up an automatic transfer from your checking account to your savings account every month. That way, you're saving money without even thinking about it. Remember, building an emergency fund isn't about depriving yourself. It's about taking control of your finances and preparing for the unexpected. It's about having peace of mind, knowing that you can handle whatever life throws your way. Let's talk about investing. Now, when the economy takes a downturn, a lot of folks panic and start selling off their investments. But let me tell you, that's the worst thing you can do. Remember, investing is a marathon, not a sprint. During a crisis, it's more important than ever to be diversified. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Spread your investments around. Now, I'm not a financial advisor, but I can tell you what I like. I like real estate, I like gold, and I like good old-fashioned government bonds. Real estate, as they say, they ain't making any more of it. And in tough times, people need a place to live, right? Gold, well, it's been a safe haven for centuries. When the going gets tough, people flock to gold. And government bonds, they're about as safe as you can get. They might not offer the highest returns, but they're a good place to park your money when you're feeling a little uncertain. But here's the thing about investing. It's not just about putting your money in the right places, it's about having the right mindset. You've got to be patient, you've got to be disciplined, and you've got to stay focused on your long-term goals. Look, I get it. When the market is going down, it's easy to get caught up in the fear and anxiety. But you've got to remember, the market goes up, the market goes down. It's a cycle. And if you panic and sell everything when the market is down, you're going to miss out on the rebound when it inevitably goes back up. So what's the key to investing in uncertain times? Stay the course, stick to your plan. And remember, the best time to invest is when everyone else is selling. Chapter 3. Tighten the belt, saving money without feeling the pinch. All right, let's talk about saving money on everyday expenses. Now, I'm not talking about being cheap, I'm talking about being smart with your money. First things first, create a budget. I know, budgeting sounds about as fun as a root canal, but trust me, it's one of the most important things you can do to take control of your finances. Write down everything you spend money on for a month, every cup of coffee, every magazine subscription, every trip to the grocery store. You'll be surprised how much money you waste on things you don't even need. Once you know where your money is going, you can start looking for areas to cut back. Maybe you can start making your coffee at home instead of buying it every day. Maybe you can cancel that gym membership you never use. And let's talk about groceries. Food is one of the biggest expenses for most families. But there are ways to save money without sacrificing nutrition. Plan your meals ahead of time, make a grocery list and stick to it. And don't be afraid to buy generic brands. They're often just as good as the name brands, but at a fraction of the cost. Another way to save money is to negotiate your bills. Call up your cable company, your internet provider, your cell phone company, and see if you can get a better rate. The worst they can say is no, right? And finally, let's talk about debt. Debt is a dream stealer. It keeps you from achieving your financial goals. If you're in debt, your number one priority should be getting out of it. Make a plan to pay off your debt as quickly as possible, starting with the highest interest rate debt first. And once you're out of debt, stay out of debt. Chapter 4, Future-Proof, your career skills, side hustles, and staying ahead of the curve. Now, let's talk about your career. In an economic crisis, your job is more important than ever, but that doesn't mean you should just sit there and hope for the best. You need to be proactive, you need to be prepared. First, take a good hard look at your current job. Is it in an industry that's likely to be affected by an economic downturn? If so, you might want to start thinking about making a change. Now, I'm not saying you need to quit your job tomorrow, but it's never a bad idea to start exploring other options. Update your resume, network with people in your field, and start developing some new skills. The more skills you have, the more valuable you are to potential employers. And in a tough job market, that can make all the difference. Another thing you can do is start a side hustle. A side hustle is a great way to earn extra income and diversify your income streams. It could be anything from freelance writing to driving for a ride-sharing company to selling handmade goods online. The beauty of a side hustle is that it gives you options. If you lose your job, you've got something to fall back on. And who knows, your side hustle might even turn into your full-time gig someday. The key to future-proofing your career is to be adaptable. Be willing to learn new things, be willing to take on new challenges, and be willing to embrace change. Chapter 5. Keeping your head when everyone else is losing theirs. The mental game of financial survival. Let's talk about something that's often overlooked when it comes to financial preparedness: your mental game. Look, I can give you all the practical tips in the world, but if you're not mentally prepared for an economic crisis, it's all for nothing. When times get tough, it's easy to get caught up in the fear and anxiety. You start listening to the news and all you hear about is doom and gloom. You start talking to your friends and neighbors and everyone is panicking. It's enough to make anyone want to crawl under a rock and hide. But you can't let fear control you. Fear is a liar. Fear will paralyze you and keep you from making rational decisions. So, how do you stay calm and collected when everyone else is losing their minds? Well, first of all, you need to limit your exposure to negativity. Turn off the news, stay off social media, and avoid those negative Nancys who are always predicting the end of the world. Instead, focus on what you can control. You can control your thoughts, your attitude, and your actions. Focus on your goals, and remind yourself that you've got this. Another thing you can do is take care of yourself. Make sure you're eating healthy, getting enough sleep, and exercising regularly. When you take care of your physical health, it has a positive impact on your mental health as well. And finally, don't be afraid to ask for help if you need it. Talk to a trusted friend or family member or seek professional guidance from a therapist or counselor. There's no shame in asking for help, and it can make a world of difference. Well, folks, there you have it. 5 essential tips to help you survive and thrive during an economic crisis. Remember, the key is to be prepared, not scared. Take control of your finances, build a strong foundation, and develop a resilient mindset. And remember, you don't have to do this alone. Reach out to your community, support each other, and we'll get through this together. Thanks for watching. If you found these tips helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with your friends. Stay prepared and stay safe.